I know you've known Martin a long time and have been through a number of situations with him. He's come so close on many occasions to beating so many good fighters. Have you seen him in this particular camp compared to the Martin of old?
Yeah, well, the first thing I'd probably say is how much more comfortable he is at this weight. You know, Martin's really struggled to get to 160 in the past, and it's quite painful to watch. He probably feels how George is feeling right now in the past. But Martin's is a natural middleweight, super middleweight, not middleweight. So, and his head's in a great place. Obviously, he signed with MGM. We've given real lot of encouragement. Eddie's been fantastic with him and together. We put this fight on, and it was Martin's first question really. His goal was on the table when he signed with Matchroom, so we wanted this from the very start. But I actually think that this fight is not going to come down to boxing ability, full stop. This is going to come down to mindset, where Martin has got the strongest mind I've ever seen. You know, I look up to him, admire him as a friend, and he's taught me a lot over the years about myself and a lot of other people. He's been in some very dark places, as you know. He's climbed his way out, and look where he is now. And you know, I've been sat with him the day before Golovkin fight, and he's been looking at the TV and watching big fights, saying, "I'd love to be in front of a home crowd." He's been in front of, it's no big fight for Martin in one respect, because he's been in front of Martinez with 40,000 people trying to want him to die. You know, so and walking through that. So this to him's got no favour at all. He's been in with the toughest man, I'm sure you'll agree, pound for pound fighter in the world right now. If he couldn't scare him, George is definitely not going to be able to do it. So I'm looking forward to this, but this mentally this is where this fight will be won. Not boxing ability, it's going to be mentally.
And having known him for so long, do you think every bit of those experiences, the dark places, the tough nights, the wins, the losses, are all going to help him in a situation like this on a massive home stage against a very talented fighter in George Groves?
Yeah, and there's no doubt in George has shown his ability. Nobody can question boxing ability with either of these guys. Both great fighters. I'm just speaking to Martin on the train down here. Big George Groves fan in the past. You know, I wanted him to beat Fox on both occasions. So, you know, I'm not sitting there going to disrespect either of these guys, because nobody in the world can disrespect Martin or George. They got in there, they had the big fights. And all right, fair enough, they've lost, but someone's going to lose again on Saturday. But I'm positive in the shape Martin's in the mentality he's in, it won't be him, because this is the fight he's been waiting for. 20,000 people with UK soil, and it is a big advantage, you know, to a home fighter. When you're going away, and you know the decisions Martin's had, he should be, definitely, there's no doubt about it. 2 times world champion, was robbed, been robbed twice, and that's the story of Martin's career, robbery. But we're now here with Matchroom, and I think we're going to get a fair result, win, lose or draw. I think we're going to get a fair result on Saturday in front of a great crowd, and I definitely think this is a massive fight in the UK, massive, biggest this year domestic fight.
Thanks, Andrew. I agree. It is a massive fight. You talk about the shape mentally and physically that Martin's in. Let's bring Shane McGuigan in, who has obviously had a few months now with George Groves, a couple of real successes after the close decision loss to Barry Jack. Thank you for joining us last night on the live stream, as well as your call, Shane. Your camp's buzzing. Obviously, David Hay is back and doing what he does best. You're knocking out opponents. You've got Carl Frampton, who had the phenomenal win over Scott Quigg and goes on to fight Leo Santa Cruz. And now you've got George Groves, and you've got a mission. He says he's going to be a world champion. He's had 3 attempts. Is he going to get it right at the 4th attempt? And is he going to come through this on Saturday night?
I think, 100%. Our goal when we first started working together was to become world champion. Whichever route gets us there the fastest, we're going to take it. And Martin Murry has popped up, and it's an amazing domestic fight. And I think it's also a world class domestic fight. So 2 guys that have both been there, both nearly got the win, arguably in certain decisions. But I think it's a fight that I strongly believe that George is going to win, and win in style.
Tactically, obviously, that's going to be all important on the night. you know Martin's strengths, you've obviously worked on some weaknesses that you see as well. Do you just believe George is a better all-round fighter, or is it the weight advantage? How do you see this, Shane?
Well, I believe that Martin's, his fought. I actually believe his best performances will be at middleweight. I think, stepping up, he's fought Arthur Abrahams, who was also a middleweight coming up. I don't think he's fought a fully fledged super middleweight yet. And he's going to. I think on Saturday night he's going to feel that weight and feel that advantage that George's going to have.
Do you think George can dismantle Martin and stop him on Saturday and make a real statement?
Yeah, I mean, we want to win, but I mean, this is boxing, anything can happen. And I think if Martin starts flagging, then I think George's got the punching power to take him out. But he's proved his toughness. He's a great fighter, and we're not looking for a stoppage. We're just looking for a win.
And finally, do you see it as a mouth-watering fight, as everybody out there seems to, or do you really fancy your man here, or are you worried in any way about how the fight could unfold?
You obviously worry and you obviously think about it, but I'm extremely confident. I think this is going to steal the show. I think this is the saviour of the show. I think if Eubank goes early and then if Joshua goes early, this is guaranteed money. This is the fight that people know is going to be a great fight and value for money. And I think just make sure you're in there early. Get in there.
I think it's guaranteed to be a fabulous fight. Martin Murry, you never disappoint in that department. And I know, as Andrew was saying, how much you've wanted a big night on home soil. You've got it, you've got your request. Can you now deliver?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, every fight I've gone in, I've always gone in believing I'm going to win, and Saturday's no different. I've not climbed this hill to get in this position and just, I just want to, that's it, my job's done. Obviously I want to win and I want to go into, to bigger and better things. I know I've got a tough night ahead of me on Saturday. I've said it many times. I rate George knows. He's a good fighter. But the way I'm feeling, mentally, physically, I'm fit and fresh, and I'm hungry, and I'm just ready to go on Saturday.
And the weight has been, an issue's been made of it, a middleweight coming up to super middleweight. Do you think that suits you, the fact that you're not dragging yourself down? Do you think you might have a little bit of extra speed, or is that something you do worry about, that he is a big super middleweight who can punch?
No, I mean, well, he is. I've seen George today, and I can kind of relate to it. He looks like the weight's killing him. I've been there when I was doing middleweight, and he is naturally the bigger man. But I was naturally the bigger man when I was fighting majority of middleweight, because I was so big as a middleweight. But it didn't, it didn't work for me. It's not always an advantage. So I won't be bothered the fact that he will potentially be bigger and heavier than me on the night. I know what I've got to do. I know what I've got to be. And I'm not worrying about anything about that. I'm just thinking about myself and taking care of my own game and my own plan.
You've both come so close to becoming a world champion. Is this a case of who's got more left in the tank? Who's got that extra bit of freshness at this stage?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. I said this when we was in the gloves are off. I know. Groves has fought Froch twice, massive profile fights over there against the top, elite fighting in Carl Fox. But I think, I've fought more elite fighters. And even though I fought more, I did not took much out of me. I'm a fresh 33-year-old. I only turned pro at 25, and I still feel fresh. I feel like I'm only just getting into my prime, where I think George is, I think he's ready to retire. I think he's ready to go. I think I got told he took his last loss against Purdue Jack bad, and he was thinking about retiring. I got a phone call and he was asking me about it, Sky Sports, what do you think? And I said I don't think he should, because he's a good fighter. That was at the time where I was a middleweight and I didn't feel like I was going to be fighting. But the point I'm trying to make is he's been in a lot tougher fights than me. That I've took a lot more out of him, and I know I'm fresher, and I know I'm hungry than him, and I think that's going to be a massive factor on Saturday.
Are you saying that sort of, he went through that thought process after the Badu Jack fight, do I retire, do I call it a day, that on Saturday night that your pressure and your aggression and your skills as well, that you can mix it up and maybe take him to that place again, that he starts to question himself?
Like I've said, our rate grows, but I firmly believe on Saturday when it gets tough, which it will do, no doubt about it, when it gets tough, I believe he'll fold.
He's not up here, Oliver Harrison. I know he likes to keep himself away from the cameras, but you've been with him a long time. George has been with Shane a short time. Do you think that's going to be important as the rounds tick by, that you know that you've got Oliver in the corner who's been there through so much?
Yeah, I mean, again, I said this on the gloves are off. People change trainers, people don't. You've got to do what's right for you. Me and Oliver's a great team. We're still learning going forward. Learn off the guy every day. George is with Shane now. He feels like it's the right move for him, and he feels like he's in the best place he's ever been as well. So, fights are winning corners, but I think Saturday's going to come down to who wants it more, and I firmly believe there's no one out there who wants it more than me.
You say George Groves will fold. When do you think that will happen? What's the prediction for this massive fight on Saturday?
Well, I think it's just how he wants to play. Whether he wants to, go out and go out early and try to take me out of there like he's done with a couple of his opponents, or he wants to stay a bit more reserved and save it to the the back end of the fight like he did with the second Fox fight. It all depends, but there are going to be times where it's going to be hard. There's no question about it. It's going to be one of them type of fights. I've said it from day one, and like I said, I believe that when it gets to that stage, there's no one hungrier than me, and there's no one who wants it more.
Thank you, Martin. There's no one hungrier than you, George Groves. How hungry are you still to become a world champion and to get it absolutely right on Saturday night?
I must be starving, Adam, because I can't make the weight anymore, Everyone keeps going about, it's such a struggle to make super middleweight now. And I can only fathom why, because Martin Murry just isn't a big super middleweight. I think their sole hope that they're pinning to in this fight will be that they have weight issues that will have an effect on my performance, that will give them some sort of inch into this fight. When the truth is, I do the weight more than comfortably. I have a very good and solid team around me that make sure of that. I've prepared fantastically for this fight, and I'm in perfect condition. There is no quit in me. There's never been any quit in me. You go through all my fights, there's never quit. I've been knocked out, but I didn't quit in that fight. I got up, I tried my best there, I wanted to carry on, I wasn't in a position to carry on. And that's the only real blemish on my record. My other two losses, one was, dubious, one was blatant robbery. So I'm 28 and on the verge of retiring, but mine, by all accounts, has been in the tougher fights, but it's fresher at 33 and is good to go. So, I've never been, as I say, in a situation where I've quit. There's no quit in me. I've never been in a fight against someone like Gennady Golovkin, say, where Martin's been in that situation where he's been beaten badly from the get-go. And
I've heard that happened in sparring as well, when someone sparring him.
Well, elaborate then. What happened in sparring?
I've been told that you went home second day, couldn't cope with him.
Couldn't cope with him.
Good sauce.
The exclusive that maybe Martin's trying to deliver here on the Gennady Golovkin sparring would be that, yeah, we did a few rounds together, and in just for the sake of me doing rounds, sparring with him when he's a week or two out from a fight, when I'm fat and out of shape, training in 200-degree heat in the middle of summer in Big Bear, doing 4-minute rounds, 30 seconds rest with a world champion. And yeah, I think he cracked a rib or he damaged a rib, so I came home because sparring and didn't really need to carry on with that sparring more. But I gave a very good account of myself since I was fat and out of shape and jet lagged and had already trained that training. And it was, yeah, the first spar back after getting knocked out in front of 80,000 people by Carl Froch at Wembley Stadium. So I don't really go to bed at night and worry about that spar or any other spar or any other situation where I've been caught or buzzed or hurt or anything like that, because it doesn't matter, because it wasn't anything serious, it wasn't a fight, it wasn't a must-win situation. I mean, Gennady was sparring with a body belt on to protect his ribs, and he said, "Do you want one?" And I said, "Nah, I thought he would get in the way." And I don't think I'll turn it down again because yeah, he hurt my ribs that day, but I don't need to worry to say things about that.
Any more excuses?
But my point was that you've been beaten badly in a fight where
Where did it quit? You quit in sparring. Edgar, 16 ounce glove, you quit, you're a quitter.
I didn't quit, we finished the spar.